This is one of the most common melodies in pop music of the last 15 years.
We were both young when I first saw you.
It pretty much just relies on this one note, the re note. There are countless other examples of this, like... But this is just one melody. There are many other melodies like this that are used everywhere in pop music. I get this deja vu-like feeling so much listening to new music of like, wait, this sounds like another song I know. And it always takes a while to figure out what the other song that I know actually is. But over time, I realized that pop music melodies really only follow a few patterns. So today I want to go over arguably the 5 most commonly used melodies in pop music and why they work so well, with my favorite and arguably the most used of all time at the end. So make sure to watch till then. So starting off, arguably the most overused melody in the 2010s is this melody that pretty much just repeats this one note. The do-re note. Popular examples of songs from the 2010s include So this re note works really well because it strikes a really good balance between sounding interesting while not being too unfamiliar and off-putting. So the most stable notes in a key are the do, mi, and so notes because they make up the home chord or the one chord of a key. In the key of C major, that would be the C major chord. We get the notes do, mi, and so. So if we look at it this way, the re note is actually squished in between the do and mi notes, 2 really stable sounding notes. But it's not one of them, so that makes it kind of inherently interesting. But at the same time, it's super close to them. So that makes it not too off-putting. It's just one step away from safety. So that makes the re note a very versatile note that works over pretty much all the chords in the key. To prove it, I'm going to play the re note over different chords in the key of C major and see how that sounds. So C, D, E, F, G. The re note sounds pretty good over pretty much all the chords in the key. But what if we took a different note, let's say the fa note? Let's see how that sounds over different chords in a key. So C, D, E. That's sounding a little bit weird, but let's keep going. F. Sounds fine. And then G. Sounding a bit off again. You get the idea. Not every note sounds as interesting and versatile as the re note. So another really common and kind of cliche melody is this melody that jumps around. So it will start from one note and jump to the note 4 notes above in the key. So a sample melody might go like... If we look at the note we're starting from as the 1 note, we're going from the 1 to the 5. Popular examples of songs from the last 20 years with this melody include So this jumping melody works really well because jumping from 1 note to the note 4 notes above kind of creates intrigue since it's unexpected. I mean, it's certainly less expected than the melody I showed off earlier where we would literally just repeat 1 note, the re note. But that's not the only reason why this melody works so well. It's also the exact jump that we're making from the 1 to the 5 note. So unless we're starting to jump from the T note, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, T note, if we start to jump from any other note, the 1 note and 5 notes actually share a similar sound scientifically speaking with this concept known as overtones. So when we play the 1 note, we can sort of hear the 5 note in there as well. And vice versa, when we play the 5 note, we can sort of hear the 1 note in there as well. So that's why this jump works so well. Not any farther or not any closer. So it's like it's far enough of a jump for it to sound interesting, but not so far or close that it's boring or scary. Now, a really common variation of this jumping melody is to jump from the 1 to the 6 versus the 5. And I actually made a video going through the most popular melody used in Japanese music, which uses this 1 to 6 jump. So check it out there if you're interested. Next, yet another really common and kind of cheesy melody used in pop music is this melody that kind of ascends and descends, kind of like going up and down the stairs. So pretty much goes up the notes of a key and comes down. So something like popular songs using this melody include So part of why this melody works so well, despite using so many notes, is that it gives our ears exactly what they want to hear. So it goes up slowly, one note at a time, before coming back down slowly, again, one note at a time. So it's very expected, but at the same time very satisfying. That kind of rising tension, slow tension, and then gradual release. Coming down is exactly what our ears want. It's like asking for the exact toy or game we wanted when we were kids, and then getting them from our parents for our birthday. It's super comforting. Another trick this melody is doing to make it work so well is that they're actually omitting certain notes. They're not playing all the notes in a key, do, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. They're omitting the fa and ti notes because those two notes specifically sound kind of off-putting over certain chords in the key. They don't sound good over all the chords in the key, as demonstrated earlier when I was demonstrating kind of the one-note melody. For example, if we take the melody Moves Like Jagger from Maroon 5, it sounds like. Notice how it skips over the fa and ti notes. It doesn't play those two notes at all. To change things up a little bit, another commonly used melody that's less about the actual notes being played and more about the rhythm is this downbeat melody. So it would typically just follow the downbeat, a steady downbeat, and go something like, or even play more than one note, like, but still following that sort of steady downbeat. So it's less about the actual notes being played and more about that rhythm. If it still sounds kind of confusing, here are some popular songs from the last few years that use this kind of melody. Despite being so simple and straightforward, this melody is arguably the most memorable since it just follows the beat exactly. So usually songs using this melody would have a kick drum that just plays a steady downbeat, and the melody would just follow that steady downbeat. So it really etches the melody into our brains. It double reinforces it. And that's also because the human brain or ear is actually better at identifying rhythm versus deciphering between like a string of notes, like on a typical melody. On a typical pop song, it almost feels as if like the melody and the beat underneath are doing different things on their own. So if we take a song like Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, here's how the melody would sound with just the beat underneath.
Birds of a feather, we should stick together and know.
Notice how the melody does not follow the beat underneath exactly. It kind of interweaves. So it will be following for a few seconds maybe, and then go off and repeat. So they'll be in sync for a little bit and then go off again. Versus the downbeat melody we're talking about where it completely follows the beat underneath. Of course, the benefit of this interweaving approach, like on Billie Eilish's song, is that it's easier to keep the listener's interest for longer. But if we were to follow the downbeat exactly like the melody we were just talking about, it makes for a more memorable melody if we're just talking about a few seconds worth of listening. Finally, this last melody, arguably the most overused melody in pop music of all time, is this melody that kind of climbs up the stair one step at a time and then comes back down a step. Doesn't really jump around too much. So it goes something like. And it's been used on countless pop songs over the years, like recently on the super popular APT by Bruno Mars and Blackpink's Rosé, or older pop hits like Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. But this melody is actually a bit more involved, so I made a whole video about it. So check it out there if you're interested. This is probably my favorite melody out of all 5 since it's the most harmonically interesting. I'll see you guys over there. Thanks for watching.